Hello, my name is Valerio Zanini, and I am a certified Scrum trainer with Scrum Alliance and a certified product innovation trainer with Spark Engine. And today I would like to talk about the 3 levels of problems with products. Before we do that, let me start by giving a very quick introduction. I've been in product management my entire career, working for some big companies like Cisco and Capital One, and small companies and startups. And throughout my entire career, I have focused on creating a solution for the right problem, something that was really valuable for my customers and my business. And that's going to be the focus for today's conversation. So we're going to talk about the 3 problem levels. And let's give a quick look at this. Level 1 is where most teams operate. We do discovery, we understand what problem our customers are facing or our business is facing, and we create a problem statement, and then we go in ideation, ideate different solutions, build it, and solve the problem. That's great, is what we do, straightforward. Level 2 is where we expand our understanding of the problem space, going beyond what is on the surface, the level 1, and really to understand where the customers are coming from, what are the different problems that they are facing. So level 2 develops that expanded understanding. And then in level 3 is where innovation really happens. That's going to be the focus for today. Let me give you an example. Let's assume that you work for, let's say, a bank, and you have collected reviews and feedback from your customers, and you are familiar with this problem. The customers complain that the ATMs are not safe enough. This is a level 1 problem. The ATMs are not safe enough. And what most teams would do is, we have that clear understanding of the problem. Let's figure out what we can do to solve it. So let's go in solution space and figure out different ideas, different options that we can ideate, that we can create to actually address that problem. And you may have seen this, like companies have introduced entry gates, where you slice your debit card and a door opens, you can enter the lobby. They have added mirrors, so you can look behind your shoulders at what is happening, maybe who's there. And all of these are great solutions. They clearly address the level 1 problem they set off to solve. They are straightforward, and I would say these are incremental solutions. They make the existing product better. They probably deliver better user experience to the customers. Are they innovative solutions? I don't think so. So innovation is typically not in the level 1 problem space. That's why we look at 3 levels of problems. So let's look at what is product innovation. I like this definition. Innovation is a new way of creating value by solving a meaningful problem measured by a change in human behavior. Notice where I stopped on the keywords, in particular, meaningful problem. That's going to be the focus for today's conversation. Really understanding what is the meaningful problem that the customers care about and that we would like to solve for them. And all this work is fundamental to the work that we do as Spark Engine. These are core frameworks that we use to spark innovation and really drive product management. So for today's conversation, since we are focusing on the problem space, we are in the define dimension. And the 3 levels of problems is a framework that as Spark Engine we have developed to help us better define the problem that we would like to solve. So let's keep looking at an example here. If you remember, level 1 is where most teams operate. Level 2 is an expanded understanding of the problem space. And then level 3 is where innovation really happens. This is really a different way for teams to work. Let me share with you an example. We may start from level 1. The level 1 problem is the one that we saw before. Like the customers complain that ATMs are not safe enough. And as we saw before, we can go straight into the solution space, ideate some solutions like the mirrors or the access gate, and solve the problem. That's great, it's useful, is incremental. Or we can go in, we can stay in the problem space and expand our problem space with level 2 problems. And typically level 2 problems are multiple different problems, different ways to look at the same problem from different perspectives. So for example, instead of looking from the product perspective, like the ATM, making the ATM safer, we can look at the customer perspective. What do the customers really care about? They care about getting cash, maybe. They care about getting safely. They may care about getting cash whenever they need it. So these are different ways to look at the level 2 in the problem space. So for example, how might we help customers get cash more safely? That's a different level 2 problem. How might we help customers get cash without even an ATM? How might we help customers get cash wherever they are and when they need it? So these are all different problems that live in the level 2 problem space, and they provide an expanded view of the space. And then out of this, we select one of these problems and we create a level 3 problem. Level 3 problem is a deeper understanding of that problem space, something that is valuable, something that is insightful, something that is really painful for our customer, that if we are able to solve for them, that is really meaningful for them. It drives an outcome and potentially allows us to really generate solutions that are no longer innovative, but the solutions that are no longer incremental, but rather are innovative. So how do you define a level 3 problem? Great question. Let's look at that. We have actually created a framework to help you define a level 3 problem. And the framework is composed of 5 parts. The first one is the context in which the problem is happening. Then there is a second part, is the human component, who is the customer, who is the user. The third part is the experience. What are the customer experiencing? Then there is the emotional impact, and then there is the consequence and the measurable impact. And when you really work across these 5 steps in the framework, you're able to better define the level 3 problem in a way that is understandable, is meaningful, and potentially allows you to ideate innovative solutions. So to stay within our example, let's look at how the ATM example could work. So as we saw before, level 1 could be like the customers complain that ATMs are not safe enough. Level 2, we generated a view, trying to expand our view. How might we help customers get cash more safely? How might we help customers get cash without an ATM? How might we help customers get cash wherever they are and when they need it? So all these are expanded views. And then out of that, we use the level 3 problem framework to really nail the details about the level 3 problem, such as the context, the customer, the experience, and we craft this example. People who hire a contractor for small jobs at their house need cash to pay for the work. They often don't have enough cash on hand and need a quick way to get the cash they need. This creates stress and runs to the ATM at any hour of day or night. The impact is that people feel anxious. They may go to an ATM they perceive as not safe to save time, or they may waste time to find one that they think is safer. And out of this, we may generate actually different solutions, different ideas that are really innovative. And one example is what some banks already have delivered, which is an application, an app for the phone that allows you to schedule a cash withdrawal on the app. And then you walk to an ATM, tap the phone, get the cash. Less than a couple of seconds, and you can do anywhere, anytime, at any ATM machine. That's an example of what kind of innovation can come out by employing a level 3 view of your problem. With that, I would like to go back to our definition of product innovation as a new way of creating value by solving a meaningful problem measured by a change in human behavior. And the 3 levels of problems framework allows us to do exactly that. And that's what we focus in our programs at Spark Engine. So thank you for being here today. I hope it was useful. You will find more information, including a framework that you can use to define your level 3 problem in the handout attached to this presentation. And please connect with me, reach out for any questions or comments. I'd be happy to follow up. Thank you very much for being here.